Okay, I want to draw your attention to one more resource that I would like for you to take a look at as you are working on your draft, the Essay 101 PowerPoint. Now this comes from week 1, but it's important that you remember its concepts now as you're writing your big paper. Okay, so I really want to focus this little video on the structure. Any essay, any paper that you write is going to have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Alright, so the introduction for Comp 1, you need to set up your paper in context, your topic in context. Why are you talking about this? And you need to include your thesis. Okay. Then you will break down the body paragraphs into main points. So each paragraph should thoroughly cover one issue, one point. Perhaps you have a paragraph that provides background information for your topic. Perhaps you have a paragraph that provides the definitions that are needed for your topic. You need or should have a paragraph that deals with the counter argument. Remember, you need to acknowledge the opposition and refute that opposition. Sometimes the counter argument comes at the first of the body paragraphs, and sometimes students save it for the last. And then you need at least 3 good points that you are using to support your argument. And separate those points out. Don't try to cover the whole essay, in 1 or 2 paragraphs. This should be thorough. It is research-based. And consider this. Your paragraphs, a healthy paragraph in a research paper, and I'm talking about body paragraphs here, should be about a half a page long. So think about it this way. I'm requiring that you have at least 3.5 pages of text. Well, if you divide that by half-page paragraphs, that's 7 paragraphs. And if you have an introduction and conclusion, that takes care of 2. And then you would need 5 body paragraphs within. And so you could have a background paragraph, you could have 1 counter-argument paragraph, and then you could have 3 supporting paragraphs. Okay, so just think about your organization. And here's the deal. I would like for you to revisit sections A in a writer's reference and the MLA section for this paper. And in section A1B, you will find an example of how the student took the article that she read and was able to analyze it, or the essay, or outline it. I apologize. If you cannot outline easily your own draft, then there's problems. You should be able to say, oh, this first body paragraph is about this, and the second body paragraph is about this. And you don't want to change ideas, midway through a paragraph. You want to stay focused on one paragraph, or one point. Okay, so ideas to engage the reader in the introduction, you can look at pages 15 through 16. Also, thesis statements, pages 9 through 12. Okay, so again, this issue about covering one idea thoroughly. And I keep pointing out the PI paragraph. It is an easy formula: point, information, explanation. Okay, so the point, this is your topic sentence. You guys have been writing topic sentences for years. This is your topic sentence. Sometimes they show transition if you have a first, second, third. And it sets up the whole point of the paragraph. Then we have the information. This is where your sources are going to come into play. What kind of facts or statistics do you have to support your topic sentence? And make sure that you cite them properly. And then we have the explanation. So this is your take on it, how it connects to the whole thesis, how the points connect to each other. Conclusion should wrap up the paper. Don't introduce new ideas in the conclusion. Just provide some final thoughts, and you can see page 20 in a writer's reference for help on writing conclusions. Okay, common errors. Here we go. Do not use you in this essay. Okay, we talk like this. That's why it's difficult to avoid, but you have to avoid it. Rewrite, revise to get rid of the you. If you have to, you can go with a person, but let's keep in mind proper pronoun antecedent agreement. Person is one, so it has to be he, she. Speaking of pronouns, indefinite pronouns are always singular. That is difficult for us to comprehend. Everyone is singular. So take a look at G1E and G3A for help on this. Everybody in the class thought they deserved an A. Everybody in the class thought he, she deserved an A. That is the proper way to write that. So be mindful of those. You will be counted off for having the wrong numbers when it comes to pronouns. Fragments, look at G5 in a writer's reference. Sentences have to have a subject and a verb to be complete. Okay, so make sure that you revise to make sure that you have full sentences. I will say this, sometimes writers will use fragments for emphasis. I'll accept the occasional fragment for emphasis, but only when it is an obvious, conscious choice to do so. Run-ons are like the opposite problem of fragments. It's putting together two or more sentences without proper punctuation. Look at section G6 for help on these. Notice here, the air freshener was too strong, it made me sick. Right here we have a new subject, okay? So you have to either put a semicolon there or end it here and start a new sentence. Or you can do a comma and a coordinating conjunction. Commas are probably the top error in freshman English easily. So please review P1 and P2 to make sure that you are using commas properly. We separate items in a list. Please use the Oxford comma after the next to last item. Look at the reasons why we do this. Johnny left money to his two ex-wives, Philip and Dave. When you don't have this extra comma here, it can cause confusion. It looks like Philip and Dave are the names of his ex-wives, and we know they're not. So, Johnny left money to his two ex-wives, comma, Philip, comma, and Dave. Use a comma after an introductory clause. I've seen a lot of this in some of your writing. Use one before a coordinating conjunction. Okay, a coordinating conjunction means that we have a new subject coming in right here after the and. If there's not a new subject here, you don't need a comma there. The boy sipped the soda and spilled it on the floor. We do not have a new subject here, so we don't need the comma. Use semicolons in the same way you would periods. You can also use a semicolon when list of items use multiple commas. We don't do this a lot, but you may see it or need to use it. And then, of course, when you use dialogue, you need to quote it properly. If you're quoting a source, put the period after the in-text citation. Okay, so crime doesn't pay is in the quotation marks. Period is after the in-text citation. It says unless there's some other form of punctuation. So if we were to have like an exclamation point or a question mark here, then you would go ahead and do that, but you still come in afterwards with the period. And okay, and then right here it says never will you use a period in both spots. So here, no, that's not going to work. Okay, so look over your sections in your text and pay attention to any comments that I have made in both that first essay and your annotated bibliography. Okay, I hope this helps as you write your draft. Thanks.